All right, so this may be my favorite anime of the year. I say maybe only because Fragrant exists and that anime is also like flawless. But the Apothecary Diaries, oh my god. What can I even say about this series? Because it is absolutely incredible. It is a seinen anime, mostly drama, comedy, historical with a smidge of romance. Um, and it's so good. This follows Maomao, who is one of my favorite characters in anime, just full stop, love her. She is incredible. She's funny. She's smart. She's driving the narrative forward. She has this inquisitive nature to her where she just can't let things stand. She has to find the truth to something. And I love her so very much. This starts off with her being kidnapped and brought to the palace. We're taking place in China, and she ends up working in the rear palace as a servant and has to take care of essentially later on. The emperor's concubines is the section that we're in. So it's only either women or eunuchs because any children born in this area have to be known to be the emperor's child. So we take place in a harem. And I, like many people, watched the first trailer. Goes to show how big of an idiot past Jessica is. Didn't know what I was thinking. Because I took one look at this trailer and it's just like, historical seems like romance in a concubine. I don't think this is going to be my vibe. I'm not going to watch it. Then, for whatever reason, I start the first episode after many have already been released, and I binge all of them, addicting to how wonderful this series is. The characters draw you in like nothing I've ever seen before. So, like I said, she's been sold off to the palace, but now the emperor's children are getting sick and dying, and she has to figure out, or her nature can't let her stop from figuring out what is happening and trying to help, especially when people are in danger and especially when they're in a lower position, especially when they're in trouble. She wants to help them. She also just wants to find the answer because she wants no answers to things. As an apothecary, she uses her medical knowledge to solve these problems. And while she wanted to really like stay below the radar, just do her time in the rear palace and then get the hell out of here when her like contract is expired and she can go home, because again, she's been kidnapped. Her father doesn't even know where she's to. She draws attention to herself, and that puts her in the position to be a lady in waiting to one of the emperor's favorite concubine. And from there, she is working as a poison tester. And this goes to show the social political structure of this world, because everyone else, this is like a death sentence. Like, they want her to be as happy and comfortable as she can be in the palace because she could die at any moment through poisoning to protect the important, quote unquote, lady of the castle, concubine one. And it's fine for Maomao because part of the humor comes from the fact that she loves eating poison. She gets, like, it's addicting to her. She loves it. It's full-on aphrodisiac to be poisoned. And she's, of course, become immune to many of the poisons. And she just absolutely loves it. But it goes to show how little a commoner's life is worth. So when other people come into dangerous situations, she wants to help them, especially if they're in a lower rank, if they're being taken advantage of or thought as disposable. Again, most of the episodes of season one feel very episodic, but eventually an overarching narrative does start to take form, but not really till the very end. The tone of this is extremely humorous, mostly because of Maomao. Did I mention I love her? I love her so much. We get these little cutaways that's different style, and she's like a little cat, and she, oh my god, and like poisons her catnip. I love her. I love her so much. But then you have really the undertones of this story is very social and political, especially for the women in this time period. So I've already said that there are many different concubines. First of all, I love all of them. They are all given such depth and personality, but you also know that they are political pawns, and the favorite of the favorite of the emperor at one moment could always fall from the favorite position, and that means that her hometown, her home city, country, wherever she's from, will then be less favored by the emperor. She is a political tool in this, and she has to maintain being his favorite to help her people, her family, the people that do trades with the emperor. Like, that is part of her job. But that also means that she can't go out and find the like love of her own. So there are other concubines in there who want to escape, who want to get out. You have the situation where the former emperor had a 9-year-old as a concubine. This is presented as a horrible thing, but also just a fact of life. You have Maomao, who have been sold off to the palace and calls out or draws attention to the fact, hey, the people who kidnapped me and sold me here My wages are garnished because, quote unquote, they thought they were written as my family, so the money goes to them, my kidnappers. That's not good. The palace knows this happens, but does nothing to stop it because they need servants to work in the palace. And what really got me to absolutely love and give this series a start was the fact that at one point in time, Maomao states very simply that if she were to screw up, she could be executed and killed. One mistake would cost her her life because she is of lowly birth. This entire series is really focused on status as a whole. And she had requested to be poisoned, because again, she loves poison, if she was to be executed. The person who would give the order for her execution turns to her and says, listen, I would never do that to you. And she flat out says to them, listen, it's not a matter of you would or wouldn't, it's you could or couldn't, and you could. My lowly birth means you could have me executed at any time for any reason. That is just the world we live in. So it's never fully brushed aside, the situations that they find themselves in, but it's just, again, treated as part of this world. And Maomao, very logical, is just making the best of it and helping where she can, and especially trying to protect others in lower positions if she is able to. So there are some times that she'll keep the truth hidden. She won't speak out because it would be disfavorable to someone at a lowly position, but at the same time, she'll also speak out and get violent to protect somebody as well. It really depends on the situation and what she finds herself in. But we're not only spending time in the rear palace. Maomao was raised in the pleasure districts across from a brothel, or actually partly in the brothel. So we see the different courtesans in there. So most of her quote-unquote sisters are very high up, so they kind of can be very selective of their clients. But we know that there are other levels and other brothels where people are not as protected. That is never glossed over. The world itself just feels complete. It doesn't feel like it's full of tropes or anything. It is just such a lived-in world, and everyone's place in society and how they view it and what they're trying to not necessarily change but survive in it and make the best of their situations, whatever situation they find themselves in. It is just so well executed. I cannot tell you how well executed this series is. Other characters, you have Jinshi, who is the sort of love interest to Maomao. He is just ethereally beautiful, and that's the majority of his personality trait for a good portion of the season. But he does have a very good heart. He's trying to help where he can. He is infatuated by Maomao. At first, viewing her as a toy, as she is not attracted to him, like she could care less about him at all. But then generally grows to respect and care for her and gets very jealous when anyone else is around her. I've already mentioned the Emperor's concubines. Again, I love them all. They're treated with such respect and dignity, and I love them. I wish we spent more time with them after like the first half of the season. Then, of course, because Maomao goes off and gets herself into other situations, which leads to other positions. I love her. I love how inquisitive she is. I love her humor. I love everything about Maomao. I'm also supposed to criticize like negatives about series too. The only criticism I can possibly give for this series is Maomao is very much like a Sherlock Holmes, jack of all trades, has extensive knowledge at a number of subjects to the point that other people around her almost look incompetent. Some of the times, not all the times. But like she is just uniquely intelligent on all these different matters, and it feels a little forced in moments. Again, very much Sherlock Holmes vibe, just already knows everything. But again, I don't overly mind it with Sherlock Holmes, so I just kind of noticed it with her, but I'm not viewing it as a wholly negative thing. At the end of the day, I love this series. I love it so much. I love the characters. I love the world. I want to know where the narrative is going. I love the themes. I love the politics, the social, political, palace politics, all of it, all of it. I just want more. Please watch this series because it's fantastic. All right, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.